What's up, YouTube peeps? Get hyped because we have another special unboxing, this time of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 1 week early. Hype!
Here we go.
So starting things off, we have the packaging, and I think Samsung really nailed it with this one. They went with an almost all-black minimalist design that's very chic and stylish. And one of the very first things that you'll notice on the box is the Note 8 written in a chromatic deep blue. On the side of the box we have the graphic for the S Pen, which is obviously this phone's most notable feature, but we'll get to that later on. And finally on the back is a listing of all the accessories that you'll see bundled inside.
Alright, so I can't even wait anymore. Let's take this layer off, and then you have the all black box, and all you can see is the Samsung logo along with the OEM tape. We're gonna cut this right now and try and not damage the box. And then once you pull out the flap, whoo, now that is a beautiful device. So first thing you're gonna see when you open up the box is going to be your Samsung Galaxy Note 8. Now we're just gonna pick this up and we're actually gonna put it aside.
If you're buying your new Note from a carrier, then you may also find your new SIM card and activation instructions inside.
And then you can just pull up this flap here.
Attached to the back is an S Pen tip remover, as well as alternate tips that are softer or thicker if you're into that sort of thing.
You also have a SIM tray eject pin, which you may be thinking, well, why would I want to take that out? That's actually where your micro SD card is going to go to, so be sure not to lose this. As the phone industry continues to develop, we're going to continue to see that the latest flagship model phones are actually going to stop using micro USB. They're going to start using USB Type-C. So it's nice to see that Samsung included a micro USB to Type-C adapter, which is going to be good for all those like me who bought a whole bunch of extra cables.
And then we have a USB Type-A female to USB Type-C male adapter, which can be used to quickly transfer all of your data from your old phone to your new Note 8.
Next, we have the official Samsung fast charger in black, and notice how all the bundled accessories are in black. Samsung seems to finally be trying to pull away from the pure white look that Apple standardized all those years ago, and I have to say that I really love this approach. Not only does this give them their own identity, but we all know how quickly white accessories get dirtied. And then here we have the cable, which actually seems pretty long. Let's actually take this out. Let's see. Looks can be deceiving. It looks like it's just a standard 3.5 foot cable. Finally, we have the bundled in headphones, which are actually official AKG branded headphones and not your normal manufacturer Samsung headphones. The cord is braided and they have the usual volume and call answering controls. This is a very nice inclusion, and after all my phones over the past few years, I don't think I've ever had headphones from an actual headphone company be bundled in with my phone. That's a really great touch. And yes, the headphones do use an auxiliary because Samsung had the courage to include the headphone jack that we all know and love. And as usual, you have different size headphone tips if need be. So that's everything that's inside, but before you guys think that this unboxing's over, I'm gonna hit you guys with some first impressions. So first, let's get rid of all this clutter in 3, 2, 1. All right, so if you just take this out and
First impressions, this thing feels premium, and it absolutely should be since it's so expensive. At the time of filming this video, it retails for over $930. This is one of the most expensive smartphone releases we've had to date.
In terms of hand to feel, it feels really nice. You know, this is a 6.3-inch screen, and a lot of people are probably gonna think that this is too large of a phone, but it actually feels really nice in the hand. All right, everyone, hold on to your seats. We're gonna do the best part. Oh. All right, you ready? Yeah, that's the stuff. Why would they put a sticker on the glass display? Oh, it's, you know, like, come. Yes. Now, this is a really, really beautiful device. All black, screen just blends right in. And one of the things that I really, really like is they finally got rid of the ugly Samsung logo at the top. Thank God, they finally got rid of it. The glass feels really nice. It's not really all that slippery either like I thought it would be, but this is a total fingerprint magnet. All right, let's power this baby on. So many people's first reaction to this phone is gonna be, geez Louise, that is a large phone, but it's actually not that big. Well, it's pretty big. It's a phablet, so it is kind of big, but it's actually not that much bigger than the S8 Plus or the Note 5 or the iPhone 7 Plus. What makes this phone seem so large is the Infinity display, which is the, I believe, an 18.5:9 ratio, as opposed to the standard 16:9 ratio. So not only does the screen go to the edges and curves around to make it almost seem bezel-less, but it's also more large vertically than we're used to. It'll be really interesting to see how media consumption will be on this phone, considering that most HD content these days is in 16:9. And even if it's in 21:9, that means one way or another, the content's gonna have to be cropped or stretched to fit the 18.5:9 ratio that the Note 8 has. Whenever considering one of these large phablets, the question is always, how comfortable is it to use? Many people with the average hand size will question whether it'll be comfortable to reach all the buttons throughout the phone or be able to reach the far ends of the screen comfortably. Now, I've been rocking the Note line for years, ever since the Note 2. And I can't speak for everyone, but I personally hold my phone like this, where I use my pinky to prop it up. Holding it like this, it is easy to reach the power button as well as the Bixby button, which is on the left-hand side. The volume buttons, however, are hard to reach this way, and you will have to adjust your hand in order to reach them. And then there's the infamous fingerprint reader on the back. Many people have criticized Samsung's choice to put the fingerprint reader on the back because due to how high it is, it's hard to reach. Now, you can reach it easily by adjusting your hand once again, and the amount of adjustment that you'd have to put to reach the fingerprint reader is about the same amount that you'd have to put to reach the volume rocker. So it's not that much, and you do get used to it really fast. However, after messing around with the phone for a little bit, I don't think I'm gonna be using the fingerprint that often. That's because the iris scanner on this phone is so good. It works blisteringly fast. Check it out, you ready? Boom, you saw that? My face didn't even show up on the screen. That's how quickly it unlocked. And this thing works really well in the dark too. The only time the iris scanner isn't really gonna work all that well is in direct light. So in those cases, yeah, you might wanna use the fingerprint reader, or you may wanna use the pattern code. It would have been nice if they could have put the fingerprint reader on the display itself. However, considering all the features that this phone has, it's not surprising that Samsung had to make some form of compromise and had to put the fingerprint reader back here. Now, if you're jumping from the Note 5 or any other phone from that generation or earlier, then you also are gonna notice how the phone does not have any physical buttons. That was kind of a red flag for me, I'm not gonna lie. I was really turned off by that at first, but I got used to it really quickly. The home button is actually Force Touch, very similar to the 3D Touch on the iPhone. Now, it's really hard to describe. It's kind of just one of those things that you have to experience, but basically when you press really hard on the screen, it gives you kind of a vibration and it kind of gives that impression of touching a physical button. Now, the question is whether the Bixby button is actually too easy to reach. After messing around with the phone for a little bit, I've already hit the Bixby button by accident at least half a dozen times. That's no exaggeration. I imagine people are going to be hitting this button by accident and waking up Bixby all throughout their day. Another thing that people may dislike about the Bixby button is it can't be remapped to another virtual assistant like, let's say, Google. Samsung has locked this button to Bixby. They're really trying to push it, but I'm willing to give Bixby a chance, and I'll give you guys my extended thoughts in the full review. The home button on older Samsung phones were also used to quickly get to the camera by double tapping. Now that's been replaced with double tapping on the power button, and that'll quickly get the camera up. So relocate a feature here, relocate a feature there, and everyone's happy. And since we're already in the camera, let's just take a quick test shot. Now that looks crisp. While I was taking that photo, you may have noticed that there's actually two cameras. One is a standard camera lens, but the other one is a zoom lens. And so that way, when you take a closer picture, you don't have to just do that digital zoom, which gives you a lower picture quality. Instead, you'll have a 2x zoom that won't have the digital degradation. And then on top of that, you can do your normal digital zoom if you want to get even closer, which isn't that bad, but of course, you know, an actual zoom lens is better. Now, dual camera lenses have been done in the past. However, this is the first phone that's ever had optical image stabilization in both lenses. What that means is that you'll be able to take those very stable shots or stable video without getting that blurry effect. And of course, we have to check out the selfie cam for all you Snapchat aficionados out there. Now, I think it's actually pretty solid. I'm sure Samsung included some bundled in modes. Let's see if we can find something interesting. Oh, so this is interesting. So apparently they allow selective focus on the selfie cam. Back on the Note 5, it was really neat that they had selective focus on the back, but you couldn't do it for the front camera. Now that we have live focus for the rear camera, it seems that they've managed to implement the selective focus on the front camera. Let's test that out. Now that is impressive, I'm not gonna lie. That is one handsome man. Oh, and you know, the photo is nice too. And of course, the biggest feature behind this phone is the S Pen. So the S Pen hasn't changed that much. The software features that support it, however, have been vastly improved in my opinion. The most major change on the S Pen compared to the Note 5 would be that the tip is much thinner than the Note 5's was. That just means there will be more accurate points of capture for the S Pen. Not sure how I feel about the placement for the S Pen though. I mean, with the Note 5, it was directly in the corner so you can just quickly hit it and you'll be out. But this one's kind of a little bit offset. So you kind of have to feel around for it first before ejecting it. Not a big deal, but I do prefer the Note 5's placement of the S Pen over the Note 8's. And of course, sticking with the theme, the S Pen is all in black and it looks very nice. I don't know if anyone remembers the Note 5 controversy back in the day when people were putting their S Pens in backwards, but it looks like you actually can't put the S Pen in backwards on the Note 8. So if you're some silly goose out there, you don't have to worry about messing up your phone. And last but not least, we have the actual hardware of the phone itself. The Note series is one of the flagship lines from Samsung, so the question is, does it feel like it? And I have to say, it does. Obviously, I've only messed around with it for a couple of minutes, but this thing is snappy. Phones always feel really fast when you first get them, but there's something different about this one. I think it's a combination of good hardware, but also the new Samsung UI experience, which seems to be a much toned back version of TouchWiz. Not quite pure Android, but you know, a much better step in the right direction. The only lag that I seem to find is when I'm snapping to the left to get to the Bixby page. So this is kind of like the Flipboard page that used to be on the older Samsung devices. You might want to disable this, that way your phone doesn't seem like it's getting caught up. And I doubt a lot of people are going to be going onto this page. I'm going to try and use it, but I don't see myself using it that often. Alright guys, hopefully that was an informative first impression, and I hope you guys enjoyed the unboxing. Now I will be doing a full review of the Note 8 as I've had a little bit more time to spend with it, get to play around with the features, you know, get to know it, take it out to dinner, ask it how it's doing, its goals in life. But seriously, after I've had more time to test out some of the features, I'll let you guys know if it's worth that hefty $930 price tag. If you're looking forward to the full review video, then be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, then do me a favor and please hit that like button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.